All right, so I guess an opening statement. First of all, welcome back, everybody. It's good to see everyone back again. So new faces and some returning faces. It's great. I think last weekend for us was tough. This last weekend, it was not what we wanted. We've been pretty open about that as a program with each other. A lot of maturing needs to happen for us, and we're addressing that as a group right now. So. There was definitely opportunities for us. Obviously, having match point against LAU Brooklyn and not being able to put that away was extremely frustrating. To go on and lose in 5 was disappointing in that situation. I think Portland's a very good volleyball team who's going to finish in the top half of the WCC, which is one of the best conferences. It's probably in the top 5 conferences in the country for volleyball. So to go out with Portland and compete, we were happy with, particularly the third set. The first and second and fourth sets, I don't feel like we were at our best, which was frustrating. And then Wyoming, we hung with them, and again, they're going to be a good team in the Mountain West, which is another one of those top 5 conferences in the West at least. I don't know, I got a bitter taste in my mouth after the weekend because, we felt that we were capable of far more than we achieved, and the girls feel that way. There's some frustration amongst them, and we just can't get back in the gym fast enough today, that's for sure. I think, following on from, I'll touch on Cleveland the first weekend because I didn't see you guys then. I think Cleveland was a good weekend for us. It was the right way to open up. Put a lot of stress on us with travel, put a lot of stress on us with the back-to-back matches on Friday. But the girls handled it well. Cleveland State is a team that has been to the tournament, the NCAA tournament for the last 3 or 4 years running, so they're a legitimate NCAA team, and they had some players on there that make them so. So they were a tough out, but we're really happy with our outings against Canisius and Binghamton. So, yeah, so we're building for sure. We're young. We're 12 underclassmen, but the time is now. That's the attitude in the locker room. That's the attitude amongst all of us. The time is now. We're not looking to next year. We're not looking to the year after that. We're looking to compete and make some noise this year. So, with that being said, I mean, if you guys have questions, hit me up and let's get this thing rolling.
Coach, what do you think that Wyoming had that we lacked? Just whether, given the circumstances, obviously, the Cats weren't all there.
Yeah.
But what did they have that we lacked, for better word?
I think their systems were dialed in. They returned a lot of their players. So when you return a lot of players, you're just a little bit more refined. So I felt like they were more comfortable in their systems, and we're still finding our way, which is frustrating. We should be at that comfort level with our systems by now. We've got to keep hammering that home, and I think there's a high level of trust amongst their group on their side was the appearance that they had, and our girls are working on that. The relationship element is real for us in terms of when you've got a responsibility, you have to take care of it, and if people aren't taking care of it, it erodes trust. So we're finding, we're learning a lot about ourselves. As the head coach, I'm learning a lot about individual capacity, what girls are capable of, and then we're trying to get the best 7 girls on the court at any one time. 6 on the court at one time, 7 with the libero, so that's the goal.
Are there any specific, each week, do you try and find a positive in any set, in any match?
Yeah.
What are some positive takeaways that you guys can take away from this weekend?
Absolutely. There's a ton of positives. The losing makes you look at it from the negative standpoint. There's a ton of positives, and we have Natalie Pasick. I think for the season right now, she's hitting up around 300. Which is, if you make a direct comparison to a baseball hitting percentage, it's right there. It's a great hitting percentage. It's the same with volleyball. 300 is phenomenal. Our goals for our outside hitters is 250. So the fact that she's exceeding that is fantastic. The fact that Alyssa Risso is consistently topping 25, 30 digs in a match, even if it's a 3-set match, to me is phenomenal. Our ace to error ratio is really good. We're serving tough. We're putting opponents under a lot of pressure with our serve. So there's definitely things there that are really good. There's things like our block we need to tidy up. We need to be more disciplined at the net. Our setting, we need to get more consistent. And defensively, it's taking care of our core roles that we need to improve on. So, there's a ton of positives there. There always is, and the hard work the girls are putting in speaks volumes to the positivity that exists. But at the same time, none of us are satisfied with just working hard and losing. You know, we've got a lot of things to dial in, and it's very clear what we need to dial in. So we're working at it. We're back in the gym today. No time off on a Labor Day for any of us, right? Yeah, there is a lot of positives there. There's no doubt about it.
I mean, beyond Natalie, what's kind of some different players that you've seen kind of step up? I mean, obviously Abby's kind of been at the top of the attack. Anyone else that you've seen kind of stand out in the last couple matches?
Yeah, you know, Kelsey White is capable of it, and I think she was over 300 on one match. What I'm asking of Kelsey is greater consistency in her focus and effort. At times she goes missing offensively, so she needs to step up now. She's a sophomore. She's no longer a freshman. She needs to be more consistent. You know, but she does it, and when she does it, we're good. You see Evie Wilson, there's been times where she's been hitting over 500, which is just ridiculous. I mean, it's otherworldly. And then she'll hit a slump and she'll come crashing back down. And so what I'm asking of her again is greater consistency. You know, I think, look at Lexi Gorosky. She's doing a great job defensively. Her passing is good at times and then really not good at times. And so again, it's consistency, and that's what we're asking for. But we have the confidence in the pieces that we have in the gym to go out there and execute. It's just they have to bring it every day. You can't go to practice and bring it some days in practice and then not in other days and expect to compete at a really high level when it's time to compete. You know, we've had some comments along the times, hey, it's game time, it's time to step up. No, it's time to step up every time you cross the line, every time you walk on the wood. It's time to step up, regardless of whether it's game time or practice time. And that's really the challenge for me as the head coach and for the team, you know, to bring that individual consistency to the program.
The LAU Brooklyn match that started, you were down 0-2, is that right?
No, we were up 2-0.
Up 2-0.
Yeah.
Okay.
You were up 2-0 and we were up 24-20. I think we were up 24-21. I called a timeout at 24-22.
Okay.
So we had several match points. 4 match points, Tom's telling me, and you know, to not be able to put that away, that's frustrating. You know, and I think what we saw in those moments was some inexperience. Players got tight at critical moments, and we've got to learn from that. You know, it's not the end of the world to have a loss if we learn. If we go out and repeat the same mistakes in a week's time, in a month's time, that's when that loss really comes back to hurt. So I'm okay with us showing our colours in those moments, because some of those players playing against LAU Brooklyn have not been in those moments, and so they've got to get the experience of being in those moments to learn from them. So you know, I'm very optimistic about that experience. Now, is it frustrating to have 4 match points and not be able to put away? Yeah, you bet. I got in trouble for kicking the scoreboard on that one, the scorer's bench. But you know, it's learning. You know, our approach, our philosophy is either you win or you learn. And if we're not learning, then we're losing. But if we're learning, it's still something positive coming out of it. So, you know, I think in the LAU Brooklyn match, as I reflect on those last 4 points of the third set, there was a lack of focus from some. There was an excitement that they didn't know what was coming. You know, hey, we're about to win, but I don't quite know how to get there. So it's a nervous excitement. And so it's those moments we just need to settle in and perform our tasks. And 1 point happens when you take care of your core functions. So
moving forward to the TCU tournament this coming weekend, I mean,
yeah.
what are some of the things that you're really going to focus on in practice? I mean, whether that's consistency or focusing, or you know, what are some of the things that you guys are really going to work on this week in order to achieve, you know, 1, 2, or 3 wins?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, Lauren. You know, we've talked as a staff Saturday night, Sunday morning. We've been going over it, and for me personally, reviewing film and. From a technical standpoint, you know, I think we need to get our setting more consistent still, give our hitters better opportunities. I think our decision making with the setting we've got to keep working on that. You know, then it really comes back to the attention to detail and focus every minute that we're on the court. Now that has to start in practice. And they've done it. They've proved to themselves, they've proved to me that they can have that attention and that focus and that enthusiasm for the task. But it's funny, when classes start and distractions come, it's real. You know, and dealing with 12 underclassmen, they don't quite know how to handle those pressures yet. And so we've got to continue to guide them in that and teach them and let them grow in those areas. But we really saw when classes started last Monday, it really impacted practice. And we can't have that. You know, for sure, they're students first, and there's no doubt about it. But they've also got to understand when they leave the classroom and come to the gym, it's complete focus on the task at hand, not wondering about the boy they sat next to in class, or I don't know. I don't know what they think about. You can probably cut that out of whatever you're using, but you know. But I have extraordinary faith and belief in the young women we have in the program, and we are completely capable of doing what we want to do. It's just a matter of turning up and doing it every day, and that's going to really give them the confidence and the power of themselves that know that they're prepared effectively. So, you know, going down to TCU and is going to be tough. TCU's in the Big 12. It's a very good volleyball conference. They're no slouch. They went all the way to the final match of the WNIT for volleyball last year. So they've got postseason experience, you know, and so their players are expecting to play in the postseason. TCU on their home court is extremely tough. I've played down there a couple of times. They've got a gym similar to Schroyer. They pack it out similar to what we do in Schroyer. There's going to be a lot of purple, which none of us like. We want to see more blue and gold, but you know, TCU's a long way to go. So you know, it's going to be they're going to be a tough opponent. SMU is very good in their conference. They're going to be a tough opponent. Louisiana is a team I haven't spent a lot of time looking at, but anytime you play a Division I volleyball team, it's not an easy walk.
I don't want to rule it out just yet, but I don't think you have anything to worry about.
Okay. Well, we'll see when we hit the court. We'll see when we hit the court. So, you know, and that's the thing. You don't know until you roll the balls out and who turns up each day, because, you know, we felt that we had a chance against all three teams this past weekend. And the balls got rolled out, and sometimes we were prepared and sometimes we weren't. So, yeah.
Anything else?
Great, guys. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.